All right. There you go. Hey, guys. All right. All right. It is. Up and move this. It is now time for to get this ball rolling. So, hello. It is 20th November today, the day that I'm recording this. Thank you, X, for the raid. Yeah, we are. It is a sort of weird holiday sort of thing for fans of a particular franchise within a franchise. Surely, if you have been familiar with video games in the past, I don't know, probably decade, really, or any time, like, the trend kind of stopped, like, I'd say, maybe, like, the start of this generation, but, you know those games that had the little plastic instruments? Your Guitar Heroes, your Rock Bands, and all that? Well, you can kind of trace the lineage of those games down to one particular franchise that's kind of generally been considered the first true, like, rhythm-style game. In particular, ones that try to, like, emulate an instrument. There have been, like, quote-unquote rhythm games in the past, games like Miracle Piano for, like, the NES and SNES and all that. And while those games kind of meant as more of, like, a teaching aid to actually like, learn how to play a piano, the first game to kind of take a sort of musical instrument and kind of abstract it as a rhythm game was a game that released in 1989 called Beatmania by Konami. Konami, being a very much an arcade powerhouse, had a thing where they like to, you know, they tried to innovate with their arcade games, and especially towards the late 90s, you have stuff like trying to do interesting kind of, like, graphical stuff at the time, but also trying to come up, like, with different arcade, like, control schemes and all that. And Konami, with Beatmania, tried to emulate, like, especially around that time, electronic music, club music had started to become a little bit more mainstream than it had been. Obviously, club stuff had been going on since how long. But, like, electronic club music had started to hit the vogue around that time. And Konami tried to, like, kind of capitalize on that. I don't know why I couldn't figure out the word. And made Beatmania, which was a game in which you played a DJ. In which you know, yeah, it's a game in which you DJ. That's kind of pretty much it. Although, whether or not you're actually DJing, it's more you're hitting buttons in tune with, like, there is a lane in which notes come down and you have to hit it in time with the beat, or time with when the notes hit a line. It's one of these games, and this is generally considered to be one of the first. Bust a Groove, I forgot what the full name, or, like, the original name of that was. I think technically came out earlier, but this is, like, the first really big one. And 20th November, there is a song that we'll actually be seeing in the first game that is kind of it's one of the songs that have, like, been featured in pretty much every game in the series because Beatmania became super popular. To the point where it's actually one of the few games that Konami has regularly put out throughout all of its, like, ever since this game originally came out in 1999 or 1998. They're still making Beatmania games fairly regularly. Like, the releases didn't die down once Konami started to, you know, shift its focus. It's still going on, and it's still regular. There was just a release, I think this, like, within the last couple months, or it might actually still be in testing for this franchise. That's how successful this franchise was for Konami, it is still going on. Like, it is one of the few that they have actually, you know, kept up with. Anyway, that being said, this was an episode that I did because it was a Retro Rank Relief goal. So these games, since they require special inputs, are a little finicky because, well, obviously I need to get a hold of some of the accessories, which thankfully beatmania controllers are actually fairly easy to find. They're pretty common. And also, one thing about beatmania games that's a little something that you have to kind of factor in when you play them, especially if you're emulating them, is the fact that they're rhythm games, so latency is a huge deal when you're playing these games. So you need to make sure that the setting that you're playing them in doesn't have a whole lot of latency, or it'll be nigh impossible to play. Which, thankfully, the Mister now supports PlayStation and supports PlayStation accessories, and thankfully, Beatmania had several ports to the PlayStation. So we're going to be taking a look at a number of PlayStation Beatmania games. Also, we're going to be taking a look at, because Beatmania got so popular that it had sort of spin-offs, we're going to be taking a look at one of those spin-offs later on. Also some portable versions of Beatmania, but regardless, that's enough talking about this. Let's actually get to playing some music. Also, I have in the top left, that is the actual controller that I am using right now. I mean, it is not my picture, but that is what the controller looks like. There are 5 buttons that are kind of, sort of DJ-ish buttons, kind of set up in, like, I forgot, like a half octave of like a piano. The buttons are kind of clicky. And you have a turntable, because if you're doing a DJ, you have to have a turntable. Yeah, so turntable's a little weird. It is a plastic disc rubbing against plastic, so it is not the smoothest experience. But it works. And this right here is the first Beatmania. I think this is pretty close to Arcade Original. I don't think it's missing any music. And yeah, as this is the first release, it's going to be a little weird. But yes. Actually, excuse me, this came out in 97 in the arcade, but 98 for the PlayStation. We're going to be using an original controller. And I'll explain what some of these options mean a little bit later on, because you see this disc change option. This is actually an interesting way that Beatmania was released for the PlayStation, because it is a disc-based medium. That allows it to do a little bit extra stuff, because this obviously was pre-internet, so you couldn't download songs, but they found a way to kind of be a little forward-thinking on how to release different packs. Oh, and I lasted a little bit too long on the title screen. That was kind of a demo for that, but you will see over here. So I'm gonna go into options, and I'm gonna make it a little bit easier. So that. So how I'm controlling this is you spin the disc in either direction to go up on the menus. So there's that. And let's start. So how this works is you have practice mode, which I believe is just you get a general easier set of songs, and you get 3 stages, but it's like, it's a little bit easier set. Normal is like, well, it's normal. You get 4 different songs, and as you get further on the stages, you get a more of a variety of a selection of music. And there's that. Expert. So these are set playlists that you have to do. You do 5 songs in a row, but you have to do it in a set playlist. So I did normal. And so this first game is weird because since this is like the first kind of rhythm game like of this type, how to like select songs is a little weird because I guess they didn't think it was like, hey, why instead of like, you know, saying what the name of the song you're about to play is, why don't you just make it the genre? So I have the list here of what the hell each of these songs are. Okay, so let's see, we got reggae. So let's... also, if you're familiar with Dance Dance Revolution, because Dance Dance Revolution is a spin-off of this, so a lot of these songs actually will appear in DDR at some point. So that was Jam Jam Reggae. Ambient is Beginning of Life. Reggae Funky Mix, that's Jam Jam remix of Jam Jam Reggae. Hip Hop is You Gotta Groove. We're gonna do Jam Jam Reggae because this is a pretty notable song. A lot of these songs are made by... These are not licensed, these are done by Konami musicians. And gameplay, it's pretty like, if you've played a rhythm game, you just whenever the note hits the little red bar, you just hit the button. So that's something they took a little while to kind of get, like, used to. Like, it took them a while to get, like, oh, hey, this is actually how we should do it. And yeah, so success in this, yeah, so the guy basically starts moving, the better you are doing. Okay, so let's see, we got breakbeats, which is... So here's the fun thing, is that there's actually 2 songs listed that it could potentially be for breakbeats. It is either Too Gorgeous for You or, let's see, Greed Eater. We got Economics, which is Salamander Beat Crush Mix, which is probably the song we're doing. Japanese Hip Hop is Tokai. You Gotta Groove, that's just a remix of You Gotta Groove. Techno is Overdoser. Ballad is... what is Ballad? I think it's Do You Love Me? In breakbeats. Okay, let's do Economics. Songs are rated on a 5-star scale of in terms of difficulty. This first game, it's the thing of like the gradual escalation of like difficulty in rhythm games that the 5-star in this one is kind of generally easier if you're familiar with later entries in the series. Like most rhythm games, the difficulty will gradually get... Each release makes the difficulty, like the most difficult song, good, like, it escalates. I don't know if I explained what the success condition is. So if you see that little meter, you have to basically get it. I believe the ratio is 70% in beatmania. It's either 70% or 80%. So let's see. We got 3 options. This one we got House, which that's 20th November. Overdose remix or a DJ battle. I'm gonna do this song because, you know, it's 20th November. It's the reason why we're doing this stream today. So the reason the song is called 20th November is because it is the birthday of Ryo Nagumo, who is the composer of the song. The controller I'm using is the one that's pictured in the top. So yeah, the controller that I have pictured in the top left. Oh, also you can also make it noise after the song's done. I'm using the controller that's pictured in the top left. It is an officially licensed beatmania controller. So yeah, it's micro switched, so it is loud. It's kind of the unfortunate thing is I have to, you know, let's see, we got Soul, Love So Groovy, Rave, which is, yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have an option for that. Emotion second mix. Love So Groovy remix. Ska, which is Ska Go-Go. So the controller, the beatmania controller for games that just say beatmania, you can use this controller because all games that are beatmania involve 5 buttons and a turntable. Now, when eventually they get to Beatmania 2 / Beatmania 2DX, that is a different controller because that is 7 buttons and a turntable. That is not what we're doing today because that's going to require some extra. That's going to require a lot more interesting setup. I do have a Beatmania 2DX controller. Unfortunately, the Beatmania 2DX controller does not work with the PlayStation 1. So I can't use that. Also, it's PlayStation 2 era, which that's going to be a weird thing. Ska Go-Go. I'm just going to play this song. I'm going to fail this song because the song's an asshole. But I feel like I had to do this because this is a song that shows up in a lot of Beatmania releases. And no, you don't have to turn the turntable different directions for the in game. So that right there is the first iteration of a thing that will be a common feature in difficult songs in beatmania games, or in all beatmania games, which is especially the ones that require you to hit a certain quota for life meter, tend to put the most difficult section of the song at the end. So you're just guaranteed to just eat shit. Okay, so let's see. We got soul, hard techno. What's hard techno again? I'm trying to... It's hard to sometimes read this. That is Acid Bomb. Which one's Rave again? Let's do Soul. Yeah. It's great. I actually have a history with this franchise because I played a shit ton of this. Oh god. I had a controller for this that was absolutely garbage growing up. It was a third party that was absolutely not, like, licensed or anything. Yeah. So yeah, that's the... And that is a playthrough of the arcade version. Well, we had 4 songs, and I got G ranking. Yeah. Also, you have a playable ending. Oh, also another thing I didn't show off is because it's trying to emulate, like, being a DJ, if you hit, I think it's select, you get a echo effect. Which you can turn on or off if you want. Okay, that's that. Oop. Excuse me, let me turn that off. And yeah, I do not believe this release has any unlockable songs. So essentially we just saw that's just it. So, how I'm going to do this today is, I'll actually show, well actually I'm going to pause this real quick. I'll show you how I'm going to do the rankings for this. Is we're going to take a look at beatmania as a franchise, as a or like in total, because today we are going to be taking a look at a grand majority of we are not going to be taking a look at every entry in the beatmania franchise, but you get a gist. I have played all games in the beatmania franchise. It doesn't change much other than graphics. So graphics and songs. So the DJ battle isn't like, technically, yes, but it's also, you don't do anything different. It's just, hey, it's like, it's not really a song. And yeah, so we're gonna do beatmania as a group. So that is how, we're not gonna rank beatmania yet. We're not gonna do every entry. That being said, once we get the pop music, I will do eras of some, rhythm games. For example, once we get into DDR, I'm essentially going to do break that one out by eras, because that game does actually change a little bit as it goes on. So that one's worth to break out. Beatmania doesn't really do that. So we're going to be actually ranking the entire Beatmania 1 franchise. That being said, we would do different. Beatmania 2DX obviously is going to be a different one. Beatmania 3 also exists, although that's weird because essentially it's Beatmania 1, but with a little extra stuff in it. But anyway, enough of that. So the thing with Beatmania that's actually kind of interesting is that Beatmania 1 actually got released in Europe. It got a PAL release. So we're going to be taking a look at the European version of Beatmania, which does actually have a little bit extra stuff. This one actually is based, I believe, on Beatmania 3rd Mix. Like the UI and all that. And generally, RemiWiki is the main wiki for all beatmania stuff. And we'll list this one as Beatmania European Edit. So that is a name that I'm going to use for it. This one I also have to be a little bit careful with because there is actually licensed music in this. But it is UK electronic music from the late 90s. I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say that the licenses on that's probably not going to care as much. Okay, so I'm going to need to look at the song list for this. But yeah, all these intros really don't mean much. It's just, hey. So. Let's see. What does the RemiWiki? So this one is... It looks like it's based on 3rd Mix. In total, there are, I believe, 8 releases of Beatmania. The last one being the final. These mixes, I believe, got, like, released yearly. They crank these out really fast. Though, granted, they don't have to do a whole lot with each one, so we're gonna do another game of those. And yeah, as you can see, now it's in English. So you can see, hey, here's what it is. Oh wait, actually, there was a thing here. What is the extra modes? Oh, here. So there are occasionally some extra little fun things you can do here. Hidden, basically what it does is, in order to let you focus, some people use this. It basically makes the notes basically disappear after a while. So it's a fun little extra mode. Because an interesting thing that is, especially in comparison to, say, later Beatmania games, is that if you play this 2-player, rather than both players playing the same notes, it will alternate between the other players. So it will give a section notes for the first player and then the second player, or alternatively, one player will be kind of the focus while the other person's playing backup notes. So basically double is you play both at the same time. I do not have 2 controllers, so I cannot do that. Random makes it so that it swaps up the things randomly. I would not do this. And then basically mirror, it's a mirror. We're not doing this. Okay, so let's see. We got Classic Garage. This is a licensed song. It is... Oh, I had to look up to see. Let's see. Sing It Back by Makoto. Electro House is... Jack's Your Body Make You Sweat 99 Mix by Less Rhythm Digitalis. So another licensed song. Japanese Big Beat is RVTK1. Acid Jazz is La Bossa Nova de Pentaverse. I can't read that. Vibe is changing the Asia. Breakbeat is Shake What Your Mama Gave You. Ski Off It remix by Skank. Yeah, it's pretty much that. Classic Garage. Let's do Japanese Big Beat. Because this is not a licensed song. Also, I've never heard this song, so it's going to be fun. As you can see, the UI changes a little bit, but that's pretty much... It's the same game. Also now keep track of your combo. Things are the same color and way too small. Yeah. This is definitely a game you have to get used to. Also, you get rankings after every stage. Now, let's see. We got Electro House. That isn't... That's that song. Trance is... Cytonia's Face by Claudio Cochluto and Dino Limi. Techno is Overdoser. There's some overlap from the first game. Euro House is Going Global, which is actually... So, a lot of these songs are eventually released in an arcade release or a home port for Japan. And this is actually what the Going Global is actually what it was referred to. Speed Garage is... Let's see, Speed Garage... Ain't It Good? Pop is Hunting for You. DJ Technique. That's DJ Technique. Battle Breaks. Electro House. Okay, so I think we looped. We're gonna do... actually, I'm gonna do this one because I've never heard of this, so I'm gonna... give a little... I am gonna face the DMCA and rock backwards straight into hell. Yeah, that was not a Konami original. Tamora and Mac. We'll see if they yell at me about using that. Okay, so let's see. We got pop, jazz funk. Jazz funk is... What is jazz funk? Stop violence? Groove? What is groove? I don't see groove on this list. Oh, there it is. Love Foundation. Balearic Anthem is Dreaming by Rough Drivers. Rave is Emotion. Retro Remix, that is Salamander Beat Crush Mix. So let's do Rave. This is another song that we could have played in the last game. Oh. Yeah. So I got this controller used. And I noticed that sometimes there's an issue with this button where it doesn't register an input if I hit it at the right spot. Okay, so let's see. We got Theme Tune, which is probably what we're going to be playing. Gangster Breaks, which is Very Bad Man by the Merchants of Menace, which that's a name that I've actually heard of, so I'm not going to play that. Minimal Techno is Overdoser. Jazz is Man Machine Plays Jazz, which I believe this shows up in a lot of other beatmania games. Theme Tune. Let's play Theme Tune. So, Metal Gear Solid main theme. not a huge fan of that remix, but yeah, it's Metal Gear music. And yeah, that is... Yeah, as you can see, not really that much different gameplay-wise. There is some finesse added, but that's the European version of Beatmania. It's pretty close to the original. Some more niceties, but oh, it is actually called the European edit. Oh, hey, Hideo Kojima's a producer on that. So yeah, as you can see, these games are not terribly different. That's not exactly a bad thing. So there we go. So with that, let's move on to our next release. So, after that, so the thing with Beatmania, what Konami decided to do, was to basically release expansion packs for the original Beatmania. You had to own, and when Beatmania came out, like the Beatmania that not the European version, but the one we showed, Beatmania 1, was labeled the key disc. Or it had disc 1, which was the key disc, and it came with a second disc called the Append, which was basically, it had an additional set of songs in it that were exclusive to that one. Not a whole lot that was like, that'd be worthwhile to take a look at, but especially since these songs are going to show up in later editions, but essentially there was Append versions of, because the one we took a look at was based on, partially on second mix as well. There was Appends for third mix, basically a collection of original songs called GatchaMix, fourth mix, fifth mix, and eventually clubMix, which is the last one we're going to take a look at, but that's not quite yet because they actually released another version that I believe was based on Beatmania fifth mix that was called Beatmania Best Hits. That was a collection of the songs that are in the various appends. So we'll take a look at that so you can see what exactly was put into those other ones. So this is one that I actually had
Beatmania Best Hits.
Yes, Beatmania Best Hits. And you can use this to actually play other of those appends, but I'll show that off once we have done a round of this. So the thing that I have with this one is that this one's actually kind of difficult. The timing on this one is really strict. But it does have a selection of basically Beatmania's first through fifth mix. Also a first that's added is Sudden, which is basically the reverse of Hidden, which basically means that notes you won't see them at the top, but they'll come in halfway through. Some people actually, that's actually a common way of playing it because it makes you focus on, it doesn't give, if especially a song that has a lot of notes, it can be a lot of visual noise, so turning Sudden on actually reduces that noise a little bit. Battle what Battle is basically both players have the same song. So how actually most Battle is basically what later beatmania games just do by default. So let's start. Okay, so now thankfully they just say what the noise or what the name of the song is. Also at this point, we also now have songs from Dance Dance Revolution showing up. So we got Paranoia in here. Let's see, it also lists in the corner of what mix this came from. So let's go ahead and play. Let's do Miracle Moon because I like Miracle Moon. Yeah. Nice little song. Let's see. Now let's see, what all do I got? Tonight I can do Metal Gear again. Let's go ahead and do this weird song. Now, however, it's got you in battle.
Hi, everybody! Hello, hello. Mic test. Mic test. I am DJ Sender. 今渋谷界隈のクラブで人気ナンバーワン DJ とはミーのことよ。うるせえ！どけどけどけ！お呼びじゃないんだよな。私こそが今最もグルービーな DJ タニー。勝負しようじゃないか。よし行くぞ。ガチョンガチョンガチョンガチョンガチョンガチョンガチョン。
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I kind of like that song. It's dumb, but also... Alright, what do we got? Okay, so now we have some songs that are... a lot more difficult. Here's Ska Go-Go again. Also, as you can see, the difficulty ranking inflation has already happened. We now have a max of 7 stars instead of 5. And Machine Plays Jazz, Overdoser, 20th November. Prince on a Star. GM Screams. Okay, also, I'm gonna probably fail this song, but this is one of my favorite Beatmania 1 songs. So let's do this. Who likes Gabba? So this release in particular is really bad if you get out of rhythm because you will basically lose all of your health in an instant. For some reason, the health drain in this one is ludicrous. And yeah, I like the thing for that. Okay. So this one shows up in DDR, so I feel like I should do this one. This is not the version of the song that I recognize. Yeah, can I do this? Does this let you do this? Okay. Do I tell both? Okay, so this doesn't have any way to cancel or like close out of the Kinda, I can understand that. It is, but the problem is that it's essentially a... So the thing is, you're probably going to fail, but so you can't just like, I know that I'm going to fail this, so I'm just going to back out of the song, is more the thing. Okay. There's gotta be a song I can actually do here. Okay. I'm trying to remember... What's your Prince on a Star? This one, I don't remember this one being particularly, like, tricky. Yeah, the problem is that it is very... Yeah, that's the thing, is that the train... And this is not easy, by the way. That's just this particular release is bad at it. Okay, I gotta do an easier song because this is ridiculous. Okay, what do I gotta work with? Let's do Man Machine Plays Jazz. That's at least a 5. I should be able to do a 5. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. I like the Miss Spike. Yeah, I love losing all of my health off of one miss string. Yeah, I think we're good with the best hits. This one is particularly mean. I don't know why. Because the other one's like we'll see in a second, actually. So let me go ahead and swap to our next one. Which actually, this is going to be the last of the PS2 ones, which actually I'm burning through these a little bit faster than I was expecting. But let's move on to clubMix. So you go over here. Oh, actually, I gotta do this first. So I gotta go here. Pull up the arcade one. And then you go to the main thing. Okay. So, you go to disk change. And then you go to here and you load up clubMix. I like that it has a please, it's still loading. So now it loads up. Beatmania clubMix. As we'll see here, timing on this one is not nearly as much of an asshole. So let's start. Okay, so do this normally. Let's see, we got... I forgot what the difference between normal and Maniac is. I think Maniac is just slightly harder. We're gonna play normal. Okay, so let's see, we got a selection of songs. I'm gonna start with this because this is actually one of my probably my favorite song in this collection. This is also one that shows up in DDR. That was much better. Okay. Also, gotta do Snatcher. Yeah, that one's not. I don't understand why that's considered a Snatcher remix. Because I could kind of hear it. Okay, what else we got? Let's do this. So this is actually based on the main theme from a Japanese TV show, Ninzaburo Furihara, which from what I have understand, is Japanese Columbo, essentially. Also, I believe the title intro does like something with the squares like this. Yep, I did see that. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Let's see, what do we got? This game. Come on. I think I remember Zanzibar being a pretty good. Yep, that is. Yep, that is clubMix. It's clubMix, yeah. So yeah, note that I messed up that string and didn't have my health completely annihilated.
Left arm. Left arm. Left arm. Left arm.
So yeah. There's that. Yeah, that's the thing, is that I kind of want to take a look. I would love to play some 2DX, but, yeah, also the screen's nigh impossible to read. So... Yeah, that's APPEND clubMix. I might actually take a look at something real quick. Yeah, so I think what we're gonna do here is that is 4 versions of Beatmania. Essentially, all the different releases are, as you can see, there are plenty, as I also mentioned, as you can see, there are plenty of different things to this. All essentially, they're pretty much the same game. Yeah, Hellscaper is a great song, but it's good to have a version of this game that will not completely annihilate your health once you lose strength. Which I've played the arcade versions of this game. It doesn't. You don't lose health like that in the arcade. That's for some reason that home port's like really bad about that. So let's go ahead and put Beatmania on the board. Okay. Beatmania is weird. It is definitely, of the Bomani games, it is probably in the middle in terms of quality. I would say 2DX is definitely like a much better evolution of the series. Just aside real quick. And I always kind of find it fun going back to Beatmania, but if you're familiar with later games in the franchise, it's definitely old. It's still definitely playable though, by any stretch of the imagination, and Beatmania is really fun. The cabinets are not that great. I have played on. I'm trying to remember. I think the version that I played actually was a Beatmania 3 machine. Yeah, 2DX cabinets are ridiculous, though. I don't know if that's so much that the cabinets are bad, it's just that 2DX cabinets are so good. I still think that Beatmania 1's pretty good, though. It's kind of like the thing. Actually, you know what? In a weird way, what I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I remember playing that one. I also played one at MagFest. Ridge Racer 2. Let's see, we got Ridge Racer and Ridge Racer. For some reason, it's just reminding me of Ridge Racer. Where it's like, yeah, it's old in a franchise that has much better games, but it's still pretty good. The problem is I also have like, well, actually I do have a rhythm game here. Vib Ribbon. I think as a rhythm game, Beatmania is better than Vib Ribbon. So I think by that standard, I think it's a 6. I'm gonna put that there. These, I don't know what, I can't really think of any particular label because it's so dependent upon the release. One thing I will also say in terms of difficulty, outside of like Life Drain that you saw in like the best hits, the hardest Beatmania song doesn't get anywhere near as difficult as, say, the hardest 2DX. So I can't really think of much else to put on here. So yeah, I think I'm good on that in beatmania. It's a also I put the wrong thing. Oop, I got my hand in the wrong spot. There we go. It is the OG beatmania game. I mean, so much so that it is what the name. It is the game that the entire franchise is named after. So, I think that is good for beatmania. They're fun little games, but yeah. Anyway, so before I move on to the next little series, I am going to be right back. Oh. The sound went off. Joke. One button. Okay. You know what? I'll be right back. All right. So, as I mentioned, beatmania got very popular, so it turned into a franchise of its own. Not only just the beatmania, because, as I mentioned, that there were other future renditions of, like, kind of not just like the various mixes of beatmania. Beatmania 2 was a thing which added 2 extra buttons, and because certain cabinets got upgraded to be like very high tech with like little subwoofers that you stand on and like very high quality cabinets. The game eventually, those cabinets were labeled 2DX and for 2 Deluxe, and those cabinets actually kind of became the standard, and the franchise became Beatmania 2DX. There was also Beatmania 3, which was Beatmania 1, but with a foot pedal that was kind of didn't really do much. I don't even think they included it in the game. It was just an additional thing you could do. Those are neat, but yeah. Essentially that was just Beatmania 1, but with a foot pedal. Like it was 5 buttons. It wasn't 7 buttons. Anyway, other games that are in this franchise are Guitar Freaks and Drum Mania, which are the OG. I'm going to casually mention those because Guitar Freaks was basically it was a guitar with you had 3 fret buttons and a little thing to simulate strumming. Those controllers were there are many different controllers in there. There was an American company named Red Octane that made those controllers, and Red Octane, in order to help like boost the sales of those Guitar Freaks controllers, worked with another company to make their own game, or I think they helped with working with a Western-made game to work with kind of their guitar controllers, because I believe those controllers had 5 buttons so that they had some extra features. And that is how Guitar Hero came around. So Guitar Freaks had direct lineage to Guitar Hero, which, kind of became its own thing. Of course, also another big spin-off of Beatmania was Dance Dance Revolution, which is its own kind of beast. Its own, I'd argue, it is probably one of the more popular of the beatmania games, although, or at least worldwide. Although those games, like, I can't remember if those are getting new releases. Those DDR as a franchise kind of had weird cycles because there was a large drought of releases after a while. So that's probably one. But another one another spin-off of Beatmania in the Beatmania franchise was a game that was actually, the pitch that I have heard for this one was that it was a game that was intended for couples going into the arcade. A cutesy rhythm game that didn't have... It was like, what if Beatmania, but it was all buttons? And also, what if these buttons were very large so that you would have... They were intended to be done, or like a game that two people can... or multiple people can play if they stand side by side, and it's an array of 9 buttons that are very large. That game was Poppin' Music. It is a much cutesier version of the rhythm games. However, the game kind of just I don't know if it was intended, or if it was a thing where it was intended for multiple people, or it was intended for multiple people, but it didn't really force you to play it, so you could play one player. But most people play... This game is mostly played solo. And it is a thing that also is kind of hard to replicate accurately in the home because the controllers are so, like, the controller you need to play them arcade accurately are so large. This uses 9... You'll see it in the game, but it's 9 buttons in a sort of 5 on the bottom row, 4 on the top. The buttons are like the size of my palm. Like if you kind of cup your hand, that's about as big as the buttons are. They're very large buttons. Very large plastic buttons that are multicolored. There are home controllers, like the one that I'm using right now, that basically cut the button size in half. So they're not arcade accurate, but I find them to be more fun to play with because after playing Poppin' Music in an actual Poppin' Music cabinet, your hands get sore after a while because you have to slap. Because they're so large, you're essentially slapping the buttons with the palm of your hand. Whereas these, you can like poke at them, and it's a bit more manageable that way. You could also argue that potentially it's a little easier, but actually I don't think that really... After playing both an arcade version and the home version, I don't think it's not that big a deal. So let me actually get this picture real quick. Oh, it's a GIF. Oh, it's a GIF. Okay, thank you for being a JPEG. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this game going. This came out 2 years after the release of the first Poppin' Music? Or the first Beatmania? Also, let me put the picture right here. There we go. That is the actual model of controller that I'm using. So this is Pop Music. Here are the main characters of Pop Music. Mimi and Yayami. So I'm using a full 9-button controller, so I'm going to play 9-button mode. Also, I just noticed, why are they wearing Chicago Cubs shirts? Also, there is this logo for MZD Design 1973. That is actually complete bullshit and was meant to be like an aesthetic thing because MZD refers to, I believe he was a Konami employee. Also, only worked on this one game, although designs for this, like, these characters obviously show up in a lot of other games. Also, because this uses nothing but buttons, how you move in the menu is if you look at the controller, you use the blue buttons, basically left and right. Which actually, I wonder if it will... So yeah, there are ways you can play this on an actual controller. I would not do that. Also, this one's also clickier than the beatmania controller somehow. Let's start. This essentially plays the same way as... The arcade scheme is essentially the same way as beatmania, where you play... I believe it's 4 in this one? But, yeah, so you got... said... I think that's... I forgot. My kana is not as strong, so I believe that is. This one's normal. I think it's normal. I think it's easy, normal, hard. I'll play on normal. Also, one thing is if you hit the yellow buttons, you can select what character you play as. So you have a number of characters in here. I'm going to play as. I like this guy. Okay, so here is your song selection. I believe that is saying the genre. So it's like Beatmania, where it says what the genre of the song is instead of the actual name of the song. Let's see, what do we got to work with? Let's start with this one, because it is technically the easiest song.
Here we go.
Let's start. So yeah, it's Beatmania, but without the turntable. Also, this UI is also horrendous. Yeah, as someone who is more familiar with later games in this franchise, I am kind of surprised by how abysmal this UI is. Yes, the color coding on the beats is something that is it is very much a thing. So let's see. Let's see, is there... Let's see, where is... Where is Pops? Oh, I can't play Pops, so I got, let's see, I got Dance, Latin, Disco Queen. And what's Dance? I think this one shows up in later games, so let's try that. So this thing of like having it be like a versus battle between another character, that is something that will become a extra mode. But I guess that's the main mode in this one. I have heard about the Wii version. I have not actually played it. The one that I have played, actually, that is in a US release version, is the absolutely horrible Beaten Groovy. That was for Xbox Live Arcade. That one, there was no extra controller. It was limited to 5 buttons. You didn't have difficulty selection. And the song list was weird. Let's see, what have we got? Let's see what we got. We got Technopop, Anime Hero, Spy, Disco King. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna play this one. Yeah, that sounds about right. So this is kind of a thing that was like is what pop and music's mostly known. Like, one of the things is that it has a lot of anime music in its like repertoire. Like, say, for example, the theme of Gambler Z. That's, oddly enough, they don't really show up. So, usually they don't have the actual, like, song in it. It's usually like a karaoke cover. Karaoke. Or rather, it's not the actual, like, real version of the song. It's like they get someone else to cover it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a reason for using covers, but just saying that they usually use covers. Let's see, do I get 3 or 4 songs? Nope, just 3. I am much better at poppin' music than I am at beatmania, is the thing. I played a lot of poppin' music. Because the thing with poppin' music is, the difficulty, levels in poppin' music get ridiculous. Okay. Thanks for playing. See you again. So, poppin' music, much like beatmania. Oh, maybe it doesn't have it in this one. But, much like beatmania, poppin' music also has a whole utter, butt ton of releases. There are, in fact, 6 releases, or poppin' music, up to poppin' music 6 is on the PlayStation 1. So that was the first poppin' music release. Let's take a look at 6. This came out... This also is an incredibly late PlayStation 2 release. This came out in 2002. I'm guessing they considered poppin' music to be a budget game. So they released it on the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2. Starting with Poppin' Music 7, they did put to PlayStation 2, which is actually the first one I ever played. But yeah. So this also, some versions of this game do also use the disc change thing that beatmania does, but also this, a lot of their stuff is also just standalone releases, which is nice. So, let's do this. So, this also is where, so you have normal, expert, which is course mode, and then they have challenge mode, which is you set a number of say, hey, I can make a certain point threshold, or I can hit a high combo, or I can have things obscure the screen. But we're gonna do normal. Also, much like the first game, you can select your character. What characters do we got here? Let's be Tron. Tron here actually is the mascot for 2DX.
We select you.
Or one of the mascots of 2DX.
We select you.
So, let's see. Also, one other thing that, now that we're in Pop Music 6, we can do, is you hit both, if you hit both yellows, you now go into hyper mode, which is basically a harder difficulty. Let's see, are there any songs that I know of in this one? Oh. Actually, this one, which is a crossover from another Beatmania game, or Beatmania game, Keyboard Mania, which is you are given a 2-octave keyboard and you play games on a MIDI, or it's basically Beatmania or Guitar Freaks, but with a MIDI keyboard. It actually is kind of bad because it's not actually that good, even though I liked it a lot. Oh, this one does not have a hyper. So
Here we go.
Also, in the loading screen, if you hit both yellows again, you get this menu, so I can turn on high speed. Also, you guys can see, the UI is much better. Yeah, by this point, they have cleaned the hell out of the UI, and it is much, much easier to play.
I feel so good.
Anyhow, also I didn't mention it, but this has the same win condition as pop music. Or as a Beatmania, where you have to hit a certain quota for your life. Also, one thing about pop music is because it's not tied to like a particular like instrument or anything, the genres of music that this is basically pretty much anything. There's also another thing I like about it. Like, say for example, like this, which is genre of Scottish.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I feel so good.
So there's that. Okay. So let's see. So this one, let's see if I can do the harder version of this one. This is a song that's in DDR Extreme, and it is it is a song I like a lot. Oh, this is the theme of Space Mako. There we go. That actually gave me a lot more wiggle room than I was expecting.
I feel so good.
So yeah, that is Poppin' Music 6. As you can see, it's a fun little rhythm game. I actually much prefer this to... So, my main problems... Actually, I'm going to move over here. And rank that. So my main problem that I'd have with the PlayStation, or like the early versions of pop music, is just I'm not super familiar with the soundtrack. Like I am with like later ones. But for the most part, like starting to get like even in like earlier like pop musics, this actually it's a very good rhythm game. It quickly gets to the point where it knows what it wants to be. Poppin' music, starting with 7, I believe they changed the way that the rank or the difficulty is indicated with songs. It still uses the star system, but it's a lot more granular. Like it starts to be on a 1 to 40 scale, I believe, or it's maybe 1 to 45. But yeah, early Poppin' music is very good. I think of the beatmania games, it's probably my favorite. And I think if I were to say if beatmania is a 6, what do we have 4? I could have at least magical drop 2 there. I think even of that, I don't. So the only problem is that the song selection is not as big. Namely because they're PlayStation releases and they just don't have as many songs. But I think pop and music kind of, even early on, gets pretty damn good. So I'm going to put that at 3. And I really like the design of pop music. These games are really charming. And I think the difficulty is rather fair, too, which is nice. Also, it's simple. Like, it's just 9 buttons. Like, I think Pop and Music is a really good game. And, fun fact about later Pop and Music releases, starting with 16, is that those starting to get into the the 2010s, or the mid-2010s, which, at that point, they stopped being on actual arcade hardware and start being on just computers. So it'd be a real shame if you say if someone took the data out of a hard drive and just cracked it and just that you just took the program out and just zipped it all up. They totally couldn't just run it on any computer. That'd be a shame. But anyway. So before we do what's going to be our last section of the night, or the afternoon, rather, I will be right back. And I know I'm going to hit the button. It's not going to do anything. I'm going to hit it anyway. I'll be right back. Yeah, so I don't know, Konami's done weird subscription things with 2DX and Pop and Music. I'm not fully 100% versed in it, but I believe they were offering a subscription service that let you play 2DX on computer. But yeah, yeah. Speaking of Konami and infinitely good ideas, also, we are past the classic controller segment of the evening. So Konami, in their infinite wisdom, decided, hey, we're having a lot of we're making a lot of money with pop and music, and beatmania and all these beatmania games. And sometimes people would like to play these games on the go. So Konami, in their infinite wisdom, decided to port Beatmania to actually not just Game Boy Color, but also to the WonderSwan. We're not taking a look at the WonderSwan version today, but I felt like it would be a fun time to take a look at some of the portable Game Boy Color renditions of some of these Beatmania games. That is not how that should look. But whatever. First off, since we... Wait. That's weird. Give me a... Okay. That's weird. I don't know why the Mister decided to act up like that, but for some reason it gave me two multiple different Game Boy things. But anyway. So, since Beatmania was first, let's take a look at how does Beatmania play on a Game Boy? Hello, 2-bit. Perfect timing. Also, this is loud. But yes, the question is, how do you translate so here's the thing we're gonna see is so this translates roughly into, so it's like, how do you translate the control scheme of Beatmania into a Game Boy? Well, let's find out. So, since this is kinda, I believe, based on Beatmania, like, 3rd mix, I think. Let me get Game Boy. So let me get the song list. Let's see, what do we got? We got breakbeats, funk. So this is Too Gorgeous for You. Cat Songs, theme of Upa. Oh, do I just have those two songs? I guess I do. Also, is that a little bit? Is that too much? So if you take a look at the bottom, you'll see how they mapped the controls to this. So the... Yeah, so the turntable start. So all these are these songs. So this is all just Game Boyified version or songs from the original Beatmania. Also, I believe the note charts are pretty, if they're pretty damn close to the originals too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's see, what do we got here? Techno, Overdose, DJ Battle. Wait, do I seriously? This is essentially what the DJ Battle is. So, arcade mode and GB mix mode have different sound, has different lists apparently. So let's see, we got Believe Again, Metal Gear Solid, Papaya Bosa. Let's see how this was, because we listened to this. We did this song in the actual OG version. You know what feels good? Mashing left on the D-pad. Okay, so let's see, we got Salamander Beat GatchaMix. Overdoser. Well. So the thing is that rather than using a Game Boy Color D-pad, I'm using a essentially Sega Saturn D-pad controller. So I'm using a 8-bit-Do M30. Which is almost worse than using a Game Boy Color D-pad. So yeah. Alright, I got double A. Apparently you can unlock a stage 5. So the TV delay is actually... Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. Nope. Oh, no. Oh, do I have to sit through this? I guess so. So the TV delay actually is not that bad. The Mr. Fate has incredibly low input lag. which really helps out with these. Also, I'm just going to go ahead and say, the GB mix is just basically the same thing, except there is a different set of songs. Some notable things are, there is the theme of Rakugo Kids, which was a game that, or a fighting game that Konami put out for the N64. And it just has some songs that are based on like classical music. So essentially, it's the same thing. There are also some unlockable songs. It looks like "Love to Me" is unlockable. There's also 3 songs of GB Mix which are unlockable. So there's that. So all those songs also are exclusive to this version of the game. So yeah, essentially Beatmania GB is pretty much just, it's Beatmania, but for the Game Boy. It doesn't have a huge song list, but yeah. Anyway, because we are doing this, also, so hey, you can unlock. So items put in the password remix. Good. Yeah. So here, Rakugo Kids, button. Let's see, what did that unlock? So Remix unlocks oh, apparently Metal Gear Solid, that Metal Gear Solid thing is apparently unlockable, I guess, even though I got it. Anyway, so that was Beatmania Game Boy. So Konami put out other Beatmania Game Boys. However, these are a little bit more interesting because these actually have... Oh, also I forgot the update thing for here. So, Beatmania 2 GatchaMix. This is a little bit more interesting because this is all exclusive stuff. Also, I am going to go ahead and put in a password. If you put in Yabisu-sama, that unlocks all the songs, because there are 5 hidden songs in this game. Now let's play arcade. And let's play normal. So we have... Oh, wait, what? Oh, I guess you have to select a course anyway. Okay, so... there are 5 courses. Each of these have 5 songs in them. Let's try... let's try... So here the courses are... J-Girl, Pop, Idol, or this band, Idol, Anison, which is basically, these are anime songs, and then GatchaMix, which are basically just Konami stuff. Actually, it might... If it's gonna make me play in... Actually, so I'm gonna have to do this a little differently. We're gonna play free mode. And we're just gonna do normal. Free mode, which lets you just select songs. So let's see, we got Automatic. This is a song by Hikaru Utada. I believe this I Can't Be a Dreaming Girl. Time Goes By. Do Not Lose. Friends. Robinson. Overrise. Or Overdrive. Or no, wait, no, this is Wandering. That's Overdrive. Believe. Raideen. Yuzuru no Muku. Etc. related to the... Etc. related to the beach. Catch You, Catch Me. Date, Hold On to Me. Even If I Become an Old Lady. Spaceship Yamato. Lovely You. Tobe Gundam. Angel Rest. Theme of Ultraman. And then RDB2K, Miracle Moon, Hunting for You, Love to Me, and Genome Screams. Okay, so let's start out with... Let's do this, because, let's start out spicy. Get some YMO. And show full ass to the DMCA. There we go. Alright. So, let's see. Let's do this one, because this one, I actually really like this one. This is Yuzuru no Muko, I believe by SMAP? It's also great because this song does not belong in a beatmania game, because this is like a very sentimental, like guitar, like it's like an acoustic guitar song if I remember correctly. It is not the kind of music you expect here. But yeah, I like that song. Alright. How about we do some... How about we do some of this? This theme of Ultraman. Yeah. Alright. So actually, So actually, I wonder, so what we kind of seen pretty much what GB2 has to offer. So how about we do something I wasn't quite fully expecting? Let's take a look at beatmania, especially since now we can round it out. We can actually look at GatchaMix 2. GB3, although it's only beatmania GB. So let's see, what's the password for, is it max is the unlock for everything? Okay, so it is maximum. Is it max? Nope, it's... maximum, which is unlocks everything. So let's poke at this one. So this one just kind of just gives you everything. So let's see, we got Love Machine, Everybody Goes, Hot Limit, Roman Hikyu, this song. Actually, you know what? Let's warm up with this. I think everyone will know exactly what this song is. So yes, this has Cruel Angel Thesis in it. So yeah, it's essentially, it is more stuff in it. Let's see, we got coincidences. Going backwards. Let's see, be together. I know Himitsu Orange. Departures. Let's go ahead and do this one too. So this one's unlockable, by the way. For those who don't understand or don't recognize this, this is the theme for Loop on the Third 78. Yep. Oh shoot, I did not realize the song was in here. Okay, I have to do that one. Let's see, Loop on the Third 78. Theme of Ultra 7. Bad Communication. Giga no Shikai, which is actually a really cool song. Fly. This one I'm curious what the video is. This one's also relevant because this song or this show just recently got remade. Oh, it actually has a little dance. This is Lumno Love Song. The theme from Urusei Yatsura. Okay, so Lumna Love Song. Cutie Honey. Tsunai-san Ika. Dreams. Get Wild, which is the ending song for City Hunter. Susukomu Yoni. Truth. Desire. Kibito no ga Santa Claus. Naze. Sunny Day Sunny. And theme of it, Nizaburo Furuhata. Again. Oh, we've already heard that. And I'm guessing this is random, so there's that. So that's beatmania GB3. It is more the same, but it also has a pretty good lineup of stuff in it. Oh, does this not have the thing of... Yeah, turn that on. Okay, so, yeah. The beatmania Game Boy games are actually better than they really have any right to be. Like, they work for the most part. They don't really change the chart, which is weird. But, yeah, for the most part, it works better than you'd expect. And also the remixes are actually pretty good. And in 2 and 3, you actually get some pretty decent renditions of, like, pop songs. So those actually might be better beatmania games to play if you want to play stuff you're familiar with and are not familiar with other beatmania stuff. It's actually surprisingly decent. I would almost say that those are more fun to play than the original beatmanias. So I'm actually going to give those a 5. That being said, there's not really a whole lot to say about them. At least compared to the original. Like, it works better than you'd expect. It's a little janky sometimes, especially when you gotta mash like a D-pad, which is kind of weird. But yeah, they work better than you'd expect. So, there's beatmania, the Game Boy series. So, with that, we have one game left, but I will be right back. Alright, so, if you were expecting, maybe our last game today to be, something other than, more anime music, I regret to inform you the last game is nothing but anime music. In particular, ones that are actually licensed. So the next game actually we're taking a look at, is actually Poppin' Music, but for the Game Boy. This originally was released for the PlayStation. It was PlayStation exclusive, I believe. The problem why we're taking a look at the Game Boy Color version is because I believe the PlayStation version uses the actual version of the song. So that will probably get me in trouble. Also, it's kind of ugly. The PlayStation version like has original characters that just kind of look bad. And it actually looks a little bit better on the Game Boy Color. So, yes. This is Poppin' Music Animation Melody. And we're gonna go into option. full mode. And arcade. No, unfortunately, this is not the one with Texas Gunman. So we got, I believe it's easy, normal, and expert. So, at least thankfully, this one has the decency of telling you what they are from. Except for this, I don't know actually, I can figure out real quick. I believe that the PlayStation version and this version have the same songs. So this is, I believe this is Witch Sally? This is, Sweet Aki-chan? This is the theme for Gekage no Kitaro. Cutie Honey. Captain Harlock. Theme of Galaxy Express 999. Hana no Ko Lunlun from Hana no Ko Lunlun. Dr. Slump. Chala Head Chala. Moonlight Densetsu. Okay, let's see. Now the question is, do we start... Okay. Oh man, this is a tough choice to start with. You know what? Let's just go with it. So this is a 1, so... Also, you can use either start or right to do the red. I do like that it has the karaoke lyrics at the bottom. Yeah, that would be cool. Also, you are a winner. There is a nice Goku. Okay, so you get more songs you get new songs in the second, third stage. So let's see, we got this song, which I forgot the full name of it is. But yeah, theme of Dragon Ball Classic. Unfortunately, they do Soldier Dream instead of Pegasus Fantasy for Saint Seiya. You got the theme for Kinnikuman. Dr. Slong. You also get... I think this is Witch Girl Meguchan? You also get Gatorobo. You also get the theme for Tiger Mask. And I think that's it. What do we get the third stage? Oh, we don't get anything new. So I will end it with, I will do... Wait. Aren't these characters from Ultimate Muscle? But not like the original Kinnikuman? Yeah, I saw that they're making a new release of Kinnikuman. Okay. I'm not actually super familiar with the original Kinnikuman. I've only seen Ultimate Muscle. There we go. Okay, so for the last stage you get, let's see, you unlock, Theme of Mazinger Z. Let's see, where's the last one you get? I don't know where the last one you get is. Okay. There's also two hidden songs, which are a song from Gigage no Kotaro and Himitu no Akichan. So, I think it's the bubble one. Okay. That song is Tonshin Kachini Kyu-san. But yeah. Let's do some classic Dragon Ball. I will then go back and we will end this with Sailor Moon. I will also say this is probably my favorite Dragon Ball intro. I've never actually seen GT's intro. Alright, we got A rank. Okay. Okay, let's quick. Let's see, can I do it in free mode? Okay. Let's do this. I actually like. The thing I like about Midnight Densetsu, it's the same in both the English and the Japanese version. They did get Rock the Dragon. Alright. So there. That was Poppin' Music Animation Medley. That's kind of all the songs it is, so there's actually not that much songs. That's also all the songs that are in the PlayStation version too, so it's actually kind of the same game. Actually, let me just double check, because I have the list right, I can pull up the list right here. Yeah, it is the exact same song. It is the exact same set list. Also, I'll just say you can find footage of the PlayStation version on YouTube. The PlayStation version actually doesn't look good. Like, this version actually, I think, looks better. It is just an ugly looking game. Because the original characters just don't look that great. So, yeah. Anyway, let's put that on the board. So the problem that I have with Animation Medley or Melody is that the song list is very small. Like the renditions of the songs are very good, and I like the renditions of like the original theme, like the graphics are actually pretty good. But for the most part, it's just it doesn't have a whole lot to it, which I think is kind of a bummer. Though granted, I would imagine licensing all that music would probably be kind of a nightmare. But yeah. So, I'd put it maybe on the level of Beatmania the original, because it's like, there's just not that many songs, and it's just not, like, they're good, but also there's not that many. So I'm kind of thinking 6. Specifically the Game Boy Color version, I think actually looks pretty good. Sounds like pretty good renditions of the music, but I'll let you give it a thumbs up for that. Also, I'm going to put a thumbs up for the Game Boy Color, because that's actually a pretty good song selection in there, too. So, yeah, I think that that is a pretty good rendition of stuff that got covered today. Alright, so that's that. And that's a good look at Poppin' Music and Beatmania. They're very fun. I am looking forward to at some point. Hopefully, I can find a way to do poppin' music's later ones because, I really like poppin' music. I think they're good. Maybe someday I will get a chance to, because I believe the WonderSwan version WonderSwan games control weirdly normally, and I think that version controls even weirder than normal. So maybe it's one day I'll take a look at that. But yeah, also, one day I will also take a look at Dance Dance Revolution because that one I think will deserve an episode on its own. In fact, it would get an episode of its own if it makes the it is a donation goal for the Retro Rank Relief. If we get to, I believe it's 240 total, we will. I will be taking a look because I do have a dance mat somewhere in this house that hopefully I believe still works. So that will be fun if we inevitably get to it. So with that, I am going to close this one out. So thank you all for watching. Personal tours at Load-A-Puzzle. I have a Discord you can chat. Also, I should say, I also have a co-host at Load-A-Puzzle now, too. If you are jumping ship to co-host, I do have an account there now as well. I do also have a Discord. You can chat the community, take part in polls. You can find it at club.hazel.town. I do also have a coffee page if you want to help with donations with hosting costs and various other things. You can find it at cafe.hazel.town. If you are watching this on a VOD and want to watch these live, Fridays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's theater.hazel.town or twitch.tv/loadofpuzzle. If you do want to watch VODs, the best place to do it is at bekindrewind.hazel.town, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern. This will go up on Friday. I do also have two shows, Media Delta and Hazeltown Story, which you can find on the YouTube channel, and also the podcast channel, which you find by going to radio.hazel.town. Those get uploaded Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. So, on Friday, we are continuing our look at Onimusha Warlords. Had a little bit of a rough start, but hopefully we can power through at least a little bit more of it. So if that, Real Slavic Bear is having a Dragon Day, which they are taking a look at launch titles for various consoles. What exactly that entails, I don't know, but we'll find out together after I send you all there. So anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good rest of whatever day it is when you're watching or whatever time. So, later.